There we go. Now you should be able to see our screen. Um, and we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with giving an introduction with Cole. Cole is an internet marketing professional that has a lot of experience working with small business owners. I actually met Cole when I hired the other company he works with, Pixel Brush, to do a customized nutrition newsletters website designed for me. So if you've seen the design that was done about a year ago, his team at Pixel Brush actually did that, and he helped with a lot of the social media marketing. Great people to work with. He is a Google AdWords certified, a Google partner, an SEO expert, a content marketer, a social media guru, and all other things marketing online. His aim is to make business more efficient online, turning low cost into higher revenue. And that right there is a win-win for everyone. A few little personal things on Cole. He is from West Monroe, Louisiana, and now lives in Lafayette. So I'm very lucky that we live in the same area and we're able to present this actually live together. A lot of times when I do these webinars, the person I'm presenting with is in another state. So this is really cool, right down the street from me. He's a newlywed with a wife, Megan. He graduated from the University of Lafayette with a degree in public relations. He loves learning, reading, writing, training his Great Dane Duke, and most importantly, he's obsessed with college football. LSU to be specific.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn it over to him, and he's going to share with us how to create fans and not noise on social media.
Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Cole. I'm super excited about this, and I'm glad you guys are here. Thanks for tuning in. Before I get started, I definitely want to thank Yvette for putting this on. And, if you get a chance, definitely drop her a line, email her, thank her for doing these webinars. I know they're beneficial for businesses. And so just definitely want to thank Yvette for her time and partnering with us in this webinar. I also like to thank Tyler, who's the co-founder of Totem Post as well. And he put together a lot of this content with me. And so a lot of things you see will kind of be from both of us. So I'll go ahead and jump right on into it. I know we've got some time together over the next 30 minutes to kind of really hash out social media and how to have a rockin' social media presence. But before I begin, I definitely want to talk about content marketing. And so you'll see me start with content marketing, and I'll make a transition into social media. But it's really important in my mind that we start here. First and foremost, why content marketing? Well, people love content. Content is all about interacting with people. On one end of the screen, you've got someone creating content, a human creating content. On the other side of the screen, you've got someone either listening, like right now, or reading the content. And so at its core, content marketing is human interaction. It's human psychology. Ultimately, whoever's writing the content wants another person to love it and appreciate it. And whoever's reading it wants to also thank whoever's writing or creating the content. So at its core, content marketing is really and truly human psychology and human interaction. And I hope that I can illustrate this point and communicate the magnitude of what we're talking about and what we're after. We're not just talking about posting the next status to Facebook. Really what we're talking about is creating content that people will love and ultimately become fans of our practice, of our business, or whatever that may look like. I know that as I'm on Facebook, I'm scrolling through, I'm looking for the next funny video to tag my wife in or to share to my friends. I know I like looking for different political articles to read, and people are after content. They're looking to engage with businesses that produce good content. And so ultimately, people love content. The days of only selling someone on your business is long gone. Social media guy that I love to follow is Gary Vaynerchuk. Many of you probably have heard who he is, but he's got this saying that's a little over the top, but basically he says that a lot of businesses treat a customer like a one night stand instead of a long marriage. And it's a little over the top, but it communicates the philosophy that I follow, as far as a lot of times businesses just only try and sell people or offer discounts or et cetera to their customers or potential customers, instead of trying to create an advocate and a fan for your business, that over the course of their lifetime, the lifetime customer value of that person is they're going to bring someone else in with them, and they're going to tell their group of friends about your business and share your content more often with their friends and family. And so that's kind of what we're after, is we want to create value-driven content, so we're kind of moving away from this idea that where we only sell someone on what we do. And so yeah.
There's one little thing I want to chime in there, Cole. Those are awesome points. The reason I started Customized Nutrition Newsletters in the first place was from listening to a sales coach back. His name's Chuck Bauer at Telos Fitness Center 10 years ago. His thing was spend 80% of the time nurturing the relationships and the clients you have, and 20% of your time trying to get new clients. That right there, and if you've been on my webinars before, you know I've shared this before, that was a pivotal shift in the way that I ran my practice at the fitness center and the way that I do business today. I just launched an online coaching program in my private practice, food therapy, and I'd say 75% of the people who signed up for it were people that I've worked with 10 years ago.
Yeah.
All people I've had relationships with. So that's why doing these things, creating content and building that relationship is key. I'm going to let him go back.
Yeah, no, that was good. Feel free to chime in at any point. And people are also attracted to businesses that bring the most value to their life. So as Yvette mentioned earlier, I have a Great Dane named Duke, and I love just reading information about Great Danes or dogs in general. And PetMD has a ton of good content on a lot of different topics relating to pets. And it's funny because I realized as I'm creating this webinar or creating the content for it, what are real life examples that have actually happened to me without me realizing it. And that's one of them, because now I buy all the medications, heartworm, flea prevention from PetMD. It's because I have a relationship with them, because they've brought me value over the course of the last several years. So I just want to illustrate that kind of real world example. Amazon has also done that for me with the one-click buy button. Really dangerous. Be careful with that. But I can now buy a product on Amazon just from one click. And so that value that they've given to me, just saving 5 minutes of my time, is why I'll continue to shop with Amazon as well. So yeah. And so the brief history of content marketing, as the internet grew, so did the information on it, such as forums, blogs, websites, and more. The internet has evolved into a place for information. And I kind of want to really illustrate the point that as business owners, even if it's an independent owner and you're just kind of a one-man kind of operation where you have a clientele of your own, your ultimate goal in business is to kind of follow where the market's going. And if people are doing one thing, you definitely want your business to follow the market, to allow the consumers to determine kind of not necessarily what your business looks like, but what is attractive about your business. And so, people are after information, and since they're after information, they're also after health and wellness information. And so I definitely encourage people to really write about good, insightful information, considering that the market is looking for information already. And so you can put yourself in a position to really succeed there with your existing clientele, and even potential customers that don't know about you just yet. Brands also need to offer those same values if they wanted people's attention. As I just kind of illustrated, brands needed to move with the market. And so we see a lot of small businesses moving with the market as well with content marketing. The core of content, why content? Are there other forms of advertising or marketing? Great content is more attractive to consumers than ads, because it offers some type of value to their life. It might be new information they previously didn't know about. It might be just a really cool infographic that they love to read about. content is also permission-based marketing, not disruptive. So, a good example is when a commercial comes on TV, I immediately go to my phone. So some of you may walk out of the room, some of you may change the channel. I immediately go to my phone. I'm sure many of you do as well. It's almost like this habit that I've developed. When a commercial comes on, I ignore it, look down to my phone, and I get on Facebook, I get on other forums, I go look at college football, whatever it may be. That's what I do. And I know a lot of people are just ignoring this disruptive advertising, such as commercials or different types of ads. Even considering the rise of ad blocker. An ad blocker is a Chrome extension that people can download to basically totally ignore ads, and they will no longer see ads. There's different types of ad blockers out there, but my point here is that more and more businesses are approaching content marketing with the rise of ad blocker. Adobe made a statement that 198 million people are blocking ads. Moz and Fractal, which are two internet companies, had a study where 58% of respondents were using ad blockers. So in your local town, you could potentially be missing out on half of your target audience just because of ad blockers. And my point to all this is that content is permission-based. They're not ignoring content, they're ignoring ads. So that's the advantage, that's the core of content marketing. It also paints you as a thought leader. And so I've never met a professional that doesn't want to be a thought leader. And so creating content gives you this platform and this ability to be painted as a thought leader and someone in your industry that's trusted, liked, and well known. So content's reach. Publications, magazines, newspapers, local media outlets, bloggers, etc., are trying to keep up with content demand, and it's extremely difficult to keep up with content demand as well. And more are reaching out to industry experts. And even having a regular blog makes you an attractive candidate to offer insight to the readers of large publications. And so content can also amplify your reach and your brand awareness and your practices awareness just through creating good content. If you guys have Snapchat, there's a Discover feature that basically what it is it gives you the news and information that's going on for that day. And every day it's refreshed. It's kind of a way for example, I use it to keep up with the news and what's going on. But recently, BuzzFeed has been added to Snapchat's Discover feature. And that's very significant to me because BuzzFeed isn't a news platform. BuzzFeed is a content platform. And so what that shows me is that younger people and even older people are consuming content all the time and wanting more of it. As a matter of fact, the Discover feature on Snapchat includes CNN, National Geographic, Vice News, etc. All of these are in the business of content. And so there's a huge demand for more and more content on the web.
And the field of health and wellness is so competitive. It's how do we make ourselves stand out?
Right.
And I'm super excited about what Totem Post has to offer because the graphics you do, and I know you're going to get into that, but
right.
This just made me realize the graphics really do stand out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely break down some practical how-to tips along with some example graphics in just a moment. And we're about to transition to social media, so just hang on just for a second. Content as a service. We've got this philosophy here that we want to provide a service to people through our content. Just as a magazine sells subscriptions and they have to provide value to people who subscribe to their magazine, we in the same way want our content to provide the same value that they're after as well. And so ultimately, we're after value-driven and thought-provoking content, something that someone doesn't just scroll by and ignore, which in essence, we want to create content that's not just noise, right? So a quick example might be, it could be a blog post, could be a social media post, but for example, healthy Halloween treats, right? Someone's not going to scroll past that and, oh, that's just another noise. I doubt that a lot of people are talking about healthy Halloween treats. And if they are, it's not a wide reach of people who are talking about that. So that would be a thought-provoking piece of content. It's like, oh, I want to create something healthy to give to kids as they come throughout the neighborhood. So that is just kind of one example of what I mean by thought-provoking content. So yeah, and when you're posting on social media, you're now a content marketer. And that's because social media content is also known as micro content. The best way I can kind of illustrate this is imagine that you've got a blog post about a recipe, and you take that blog post and you condense it down as much as possible with a graphic, and you post that to Facebook. That, in essence, is what we're after, the value that we're after as far as posting to social media. So we're not just looking at sharing links or looking at sharing someone else's status or video. We're really focused also on creating this type of value-driven content. Social content as an advantage over other forms of marketing, is more specifically. Your content is a lot easier to be seen. You already have a following on Facebook. You've got your customers there. You've got your fans are there. Your followers are there, and people have given you permission to show up in their everyday life. There is a lot of value in someone saying, I want you to show up in my everyday life, as far as producing content and sharing what's going on about your business. The attention graph, in addition to that, is of the consumer or of the customer, is on social, not other forms of advertising. And I've heard this example shared before, and I forget who said this, but billboards are becoming extremely outdated because when people are driving, they're on Facebook. and it's scary to think about that people aren't looking at the road, but at the same time, they really are. Their attention is not on traditional forms of advertising. Not that there could be some value in those forms of advertising, I'm sure, but that their attention is really on social and other forms of content as well, for that matter. Creating content is hard, but getting traffic to your blog is extremely difficult as well. I know here once again, we value content. We try and create content as a business that people will love. And so we spend a significant amount of time creating content, and it's a hard work, and it's not easy. And when we publish it to our website and we don't hear anything, it's like we publish it and we don't hear a whole lot of feedback on the content. Just because of the nature of the content. And so we could spend hours writing it, but no one reads it, or maybe they read it and they don't quite engage with it. But we post a clever Facebook post and it gets traction. We get, 6 likes, 2 comments, and a share. And now we've got a dozen people who we know have interacted with that piece of content compared to before. And that's extremely advantageous as a business. And I'll get into in just a moment how you can take their engagement and make them a fan instead of just a comment with that. So yeah, some things to consider as far as myths about content marketing. We hear this often. It's cheap, and I can do this quickly. It's definitely time consuming, which in essence is not cheap at the end of the day. And so, for us, we spend on average about 20 to 30 hours per month on a month's worth of content. We did a study of 30 business owners that owned a local business, and 95% of them think it takes 1 to 5 hours to create a month's worth of social media posts. And so that just goes to show that a common myth is that people think you can do this quickly. And there are efficiencies we can put in place, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But it's not cheap, and it does take some time. Now, we recommend blocking out 2 days of time and really knocking out a month's worth of content ahead of time. And I'm not sure if I said this earlier, but I really want to provide as much value as possible during this webinar. So I'm going to share with you everything we do. The curtain is unveiled, and all the practical tips, how we create content. The next myth is I don't have the tools to create content. A common tool used is freelance graphic designers if you're looking to share custom graphics. Upwork.com, UPWORK, Upwork.com, recently bought Elance. And basically, it's a huge freelance community, and of course, they have graphic designers. And so you could hire a graphic designer for anywhere from $40 to $60 per post, excuse me. So let's say you've got 4 or 5 concepts that you think they'd be great graphics. You could spend $150 to $200 hiring freelancers to create these custom graphics for you. At the same time, if you have design chops, then by all means you can also create these graphics as well. So that's another myth that we have. Another free tool is image editing apps. So for example, I use PicStitch, and you can take a picture with your phone and edit the image, whether it be filters, text on top of the image, totally for free on your phone. Save it, then upload it to your social media platform, and all that is free, but really enhances the quality and the message of what you're delivering. And so a quick Google search of free iPhone, image editing apps would get you dozens of results. And so those are a couple of tools that you can take with you and really try and knock out excellent content for your customers. Another myth that we hear quite often is I'll reach everyone that likes my page on Facebook or that follows my business. And so Facebook's algorithm specifically reaches, on average, about 16% of your fans with every post. And that's simply because of how their algorithm works. And because of that, the way you can reach more people is if more people engage with your post. So follow with me just for a second. If you post, a status about your Halloween healthy Halloween treats, and you get, 30 likes, well, that post then will reach more people because it's got more engagement compared to if you, get 2 likes, and that post will reach less people by the nature of it. So if you can think higher engagement means higher reach. And if you take that logic, then your first question is, okay, how can I get higher engagement? And so in just a moment, I'm going to share with you 5 ingredients to get higher engagement so you can reach more people. And it's really important that we do that, even if it's one small tweak of the graphic or one small tweak of the post, so we can reach more people. So which social network is good for my business? We get this question a lot here, and really we've kind of got a really kind of simplified approach. Ultimately, we ask the question, where are people's attention at? So we'll walk through that. Facebook has the largest social network and highest engagement, and multiple studies have been done on this. And Facebook recently just announced that they have 1 billion users that use Facebook on a daily basis. And that's a lot of people. It's no longer a question of, are my customers on Facebook? It's now a question of, how can I interact and engage my customers on Facebook? Facebook also offers unique business advertising opportunities. So I'm sure some of you have heard of boosted post and Facebook ads. I just want to explain the difference between the two. There is a difference between a Facebook ad and a boosted post. A boosted post, you're essentially increasing the reach of what you just posted on Facebook to your existing customer base. So like I said earlier, on average, 16% of people see your post. You can increase that reach by paying for it, essentially. So a lot of businesses are using that just to get more reach on their post. Facebook ads specifically has a much more deeper way to target people. So a common example is you can target people who have a higher income. You can target moms with kids between the ages of 0 and 18. And by income, I mean like salary level. You could do job titles, employers. There's a lot. You can do interests. What do they like? Do they like cooking? Do they like recipes, etc.? There's really a lot of tools at your disposal with Facebook ads, and you guys can explore that. Facebook.com/ads, ADS, and it's really straightforward. Just kind of follow what's there and the targeting options there. So that's the difference between Facebook ads and boosted post. Twitter, in my opinion, Twitter has recently begun losing the attention of the customer. People are now checking Twitter quickly instead of spending a lot of time on it compared to Facebook. Twitter in its nature is a true social network, and what I mean by that is Twitter has invented the hashtag, and Facebook kind of copied off of them. But the way it works in Twitter is, let's say there's a Super Bowl hashtag. You can get on the Super Bowl hashtag and see what people around the world are talking about, what they're saying about the Super Bowl. And so you may know this, but really in its nature, you're connecting with a social network. Compared to Facebook, you've kind of got your friends that you have friended, and you kind of filter out, what requests come your way, who you approve of, and stuff like that. So that's what I mean by a true social network. Not that Facebook isn't one, but that Twitter, you can reach a lot more people and engage with a lot more people as well. Twitter, you must be engaging with other people. Search.twitter.com. Search.twitter.com is a tool that Twitter offers where you can go on there, set a mileage radius, and anyone talking about this keyword. So let's say you're in Lafayette, Louisiana. You can set a 10-mile radius, anyone talking about a diet. And now you can go on there and engage with people who are talking about dieting. And so that really is a valuable tool that Twitter has that others don't have. So if you have an audience, stick with it, I'd say. Continue posting content. If you have a following there, I'll just make sure that you're engaging with them and other local people that are posting about a specific topic that your business offers. It can also be a great opportunity to reach and engage a local younger audience. Instagram, my personal favorite, has the second highest user retention in my opinion. Instagram is really getting a lot of traction lately over the past year. And the nature of the platform is to post beautiful and inspiring pictures with inspiring captions too. What's recently been frowned upon, in the past it's been frowned upon to post a long caption, something that's really long that people have to take their time to read through, has kind of become really engaging for people lately. And so it might be something that you tried if you're on Instagram to post a long, inspiring, personal caption that really engages with the audience. And I think you might be surprised how many people might engage with that piece of content. They're also rolling out some shopping changes and Instagram ads as well very soon. I'm actually not sure if they just rolled them out or if they're in a beta test, but they're coming out, so be on the lookout for that. I'd encourage you to jump on it as soon as it's made available to the public. I'll actually check on that after this, and we'll include that in the follow-up email. That'll be good information to know. So yeah, Instagram is really a cool platform to engage with people. Google Plus is currently breaking down its part and abandoning soon. A lot of people believe that there is an SEO benefit, and SEO just stands for search engine optimization, or ranking higher on Google from using Google Plus. There really isn't an SEO benefit. Google Plus is breaking down mainly because there's just not a lot of people using it, and they're not using it as a social network. They're just kind of, a lot of content marketers are using it, but consumers, as in people, are not using it.
So when you say abandoning it, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is currently they are kind of taking its parts, like photos and Google Plus Local and different parts of it, and moving. And Google hasn't officially announced this, but it's obvious in the marketing kind of world and the marketing news and talk that they will be kind of abandoning it within the next year or two. So just something to keep a lookout. So yeah, if you're posting Google Plus, it may be something you consider. Once again, if you have a following there, continue engaging where your customers are. I'll say that. Snapchat is great for a young audience, 13 to 25 years old. Keep in mind that if you do choose to post on Snapchat, that your brand potentially will now have a face behind it. So if you're an independent practice owner, this might be great for you. But keep in mind that might happen. My recommendation is stick with Facebook. I have a saying that it's better to do one platform great than three okay. Now, I do have an asterisk here. If you're engaging people on Twitter, continue doing that. That can really be a powerful tool. Once again, search.twitter.com can really be a powerful tool to engage with a local audience that are already talking about a specific topic. And if you're already posting to Instagram inspiring pictures and inspiring captions, continue doing that as well. So, but in my opinion, Facebook really is where the attention is and where the people are as well as the business opportunities for practices and businesses. So why is better engagement important? We've kind of addressed this already, but in today's noisy environment, businesses are fighting for attention. And if you can tweak one thing or one small detail of your post, you can bring better engagement to your post, and you're more likely to have a lifelong fan if they're engaging with your business on a regular basis. And so kind of one tip that I have, and I'll share it again later, is to always respond to commenters. And so I'll get into that a little bit more later, but if they can engage with you and you can interact with them, they're more likely to remember you, as well as within Facebook's algorithm, if they've engaged with you before, and they're more likely to see another post again by you. And so once again, engagement is the game, and that's what we're after. So here are 5 ingredients to increase engagement. So first and foremost, it must be graphic focused. We always have this rule of thumb to always have an image in every post that we share. Even if it's a link out, that thumbnail must be there from that other link. Or if not, we upload our own thumbnail. So that graphic must be there. And once again, I'll show you a few graphic examples in just a moment. We must post consistently. And what I mean is once a day. We kind of post Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. That's kind of our philosophy. Might be a good philosophy to take on as well for your business, is posting 5 days a week. And the reason that is because we've seen a business reach literally 3 times as many people because they moved from posting 2 or 3 times a week to 5 times a week, strictly because on average you reach 16% of people. You might as well post every day to try and hit that number every single day. So I definitely encourage you guys to be posting consistently. Clever copy. Here's where it can really be a game changer, is if you can have a clever or even personal copy. If you can have it clever and personalized, whether it be humor-based or really maybe it's your commentary on another piece of content, but have copy that's well thought out, not just the first thing that pops into your head. That's kind of the fight that we battle with. I know I do, is I kind of initially write the first thing that comes to my head, and I'll spend several minutes just really kind of refining that initial copy that I've delivered. Make sure it's value driven, as in make sure it captures people's attention and brings value to their everyday life. It might be entertainment value, it might be information value, but make sure it brings value to someone's everyday life. I saw someone post, a health and wellness professional post, when is a good time to eat candy corn? Is that the name of it? Yeah, when's a good time to eat candy corn? And the bottom of it was never. And so it was just that was clever, and I laughed. And so, but I remember that post from that business. And so make sure it's value driven and clever. And additionally, promote from your own voice occasionally. So what I mean, excuse me, there is a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk again. As you can tell, he's definitely influenced the way I approach social media. And his concept is jab, jab, jab. And a jab is a post that provides value. So value driven, value driven, value driven. Then you write hook, which essentially is asking them for business. And so it might not be 3 and then 1. It might be 5 and then 1. Some of you might say, I just want to jab all day, every day. And that's a good business practice because you're still providing value to them at the end of the day. And so when you provide value to people, they're going to reciprocate that and tell their friends about your business as well. And so promote from your own voice occasionally, and it could be, a discount, whatever it may be, but just promote occasionally. We're not after, at the end of the day, we believe there's an ROI with social. So I don't want you to hear me say, provide value, provide value, provide value. But we also want to make money at the end of the day too. But we do believe that providing value leads to better return on that investment. Here's a few examples I'll kind of walk through quickly, and we just hit the 30-minute mark. So don't worry, the next few slides go pretty quickly. But it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. And this is just an image you could find somewhere, and it's an image of a snail, but the image of a snail really communicates exactly what the message is. And so, it could be that you guys could do this on the free app that you download. Find an image, upload the image, add the text to it. This could be totally done for free, but yet it's really thought out, and people are likely to engage with this over, just text on a white background or something. Happy Labor Day. Something you guys may want to consider is stock photography. And so you could find really good pictures for a low price that stock photography. Typically, stock photography gets this bad connotation that it looks staged and fake and etc. But a lot of stock photography websites have really good stuff to share, and you could probably find something really similar to this on a stock photography website. And you could edit it as you'd like to edit it. Once again, with these apps or even with Photoshop, if you're capable of that. And having someone edit it, a freelancer, would be very, very low cost as far as editing one quick thing as well. So this is an example of a blog post, carrot cake smoothie to try this fall. And this could be an entire blog post that does really well. We've taken that blog post, we've condensed it down into micro content, which is a social media post that delivers great engagement.
And this graphic design here was done by the designers with Totem Post, right?
Correct. Yes. These graphics that I'm showing you were done with us in-house. Yeah, absolutely. This one was done by us. This one's cut off a little bit, but I still wanted to include it. Just the slideshow cuts it off, but it's 5 healthy snacks on the go. And what really sticks out here to me is we've got 5 different items, and they're all sitting on a table. And so it all looks really real, and it's not real at all. All of these pieces were pulled together from different places and cropped out and added onto a table, but the shadowing and the placement makes it look really real. And so people will see the value or the design quality when they see your post, and they'll really appreciate that quality of a post, and they'll engage with it as well. And so these are some clever ideas per se that you could also include within your social media campaigns. One question we like to ask is, have I done everything to make this post the best it can be? It's a quick question. Typically there's a quick answer to it, yes or no, and you can go back and move from there. So now I'm going to share with you a few tricks of the trade, practical tip that you can take away and say, okay, I can do this on my own, I can really execute this really well. So if you manage a page as an admin, such as your business page, if anyone that likes your status, you can invite them to like your page if they like your status. I think it has to be a minimum of 5 people that like it, but I'll show you an example. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5 people that like this page, 3 people, and then 2 others. If you click on the number 2 others, this box will show up. As you can see, Jody Roberts, it'd be awesome if Jody Roberts was in this webinar right now. And you can invite Jody to like your page. And it'll show if they already liked it, and it'll have invited if you've already invited them and won't allow you to invite them again. So this is by no means is disruptive. It simply is saying, hey, you've engaged with us before, come like our page. So this is a great tool and trick kind of to use.
That's really cool.
My biggest one, my personal favorite, is respond to every commenter with the approach to make their day better. Once again, as I was thinking of examples that have actually happened to me, what I did was I have this DVD series that I'm using to train my dog. And so I follow him on Facebook now, this trainer. And he posted a video that he rehabilitated a dog from aggression. And since I'm going through his training right now, I posted a picture of my dog as a comment. That's all I did, just a picture of my dog. He immediately recognized it as a Great Dane. And you get a Great Dane for one reason, because you like a big dog. That's it. And he responded with just like 4 words, what a big dog. But that means a lot to me, because I got a Great Dane because it's a big dog. And so he had 4 words, and it made my day. I realized about 6 hours later in the evening, I told my wife that he responded to me. And that clearly made my day. I told people about it. And yeah, you can respond to someone very quickly and cleverly and really have an impact. If you don't respond to people, you've kind of set this expectation that if I comment on your statuses, it's not really going to go anywhere. It's going to fall on deaf ears per se. So it's always a good practice to respond to anyone who comments
I
on your
love that
statuses.
to make their day better. If
Yeah.
you have that approach as you're commenting, it really provides some good energy in there.
Yeah, definitely. And you can make it funny too. By no means you have to be serious. You can,
Right.
Be lighthearted with it as well. And once again, you can take that person and being a fan of your business to expand on that story. This is a real story. My cousin texted me a few days ago and asked me, had a dog training question, and I told him about this trainer that I follow. Go and check him out. So what happened? He responded to my comment, made my day. I referred a friend to his business. That's pretty much what happened. And so you can create long-term fans of your business through one comment. So this is a little lengthy one. It's best if I just kind of explain it. Basically, an idea that we kind of utilize at times is we have a list of influencers within our town that are extremely influential. Could be Chamber of Commerce, Better Business Bureau, whatever it may be, that are influencers within our town. And we'll post something that's tailored specifically for them. It might be, their project was recently launched, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll reach out to them via email and let them know we've shared something, about their business or practice or whatever it might be. It could be just personally about them. And they're more likely to share that piece of content than other pieces of content. And that took us, 5 minutes to do. And so now you've got an influencer that's sharing your content as well. And now you've also built a relationship with them through emailing them. And so this is a really cool way. I think you could really do well of a success story of someone. If you're a dietitian, a personal trainer, and you have someone who's lost a lot of weight recently and they're okay with you sharing their story, and then letting them know they shared your story, they're going to tell all their friends about it because they're excited they've lost a lot of weight. And that could be an incredible story for your business in that local area. Share an article with your commentary on it. That's also another great way. Ask yes or no questions. People typically don't have the time to answer open-ended questions. So it's good to, if there's a quick answer, that's a good appropriate time to ask a quick question on Facebook or other social platforms for that matter. Do a big promotion occasionally. For example, 10, 5 free training sessions. Do this rarely. It can create some cool buzz, but you also don't want to devalue your service. I know you guys know all about that since you're running your business and your practice. But it can create some really cool buzz and get some good traction. But make it like a value proposition they cannot pass up. They want to sign up for this promotion.
I know when I started working at Telos Fitness Center, and I had only been there 2 months, so this is something. And when I do consulting with gym dietitians, I say that do this only once. Do not do this more than after the first time. But we did a 40% off all nutrition counseling services. And it was a huge, it was a slow month. It was in July, but it was huge for the growth of my business because it got people, I was brand new in the facility. It got people in the door to start getting to know me, like me, and trust me. And then they started coming back. So it was, and then they started talking and referring, and then they referred someone and it was outside of the 40% off. That person still came. So that's
awesome. Yeah. Real world story of how promotion did really well. That's really cool.
But don't do it. I mean, I wouldn't have done it after that initial, but.
Right. If we're talking a year later, that's different, but definitely don't do this within a few months of each other. People love pictures of your staff. We've kind of recently found that out. Every time we post a picture of our staff, people love it. And so this can really create loyalty as well because they can put a name with a face and a team as well. That can create a lot of loyalty to your business. Once again, share a success story of a client. I just mentioned that. And funny memes about dieting and running. The candy I just shared about, that's a funny meme that you can share that really gets a lot of traction with people as well. Practical execution tips. Block out 2 days of time for the content for the next month. Assign yourself a number. So let's say Monday through Friday you're posting. In October, for example, there's 22 days. Halloween falls on a Saturday. That makes 23 posts in total. So now you've got a number that you can hit and kind of go after. To make it even easier, create categories to really break it down. So let's say you go after 5 categories: fitness, diet, nutrition, whatever it might be. and you've got these different categories, and so you can number them, right? Fitness, diet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then rotate it again. Fitness, diet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so now you've got a topic and a number that you can really place your thought and your focus on. So it really allows you to break down your content as opposed to having this pressure of, I've got to create a month's worth of social media content. So that's it for me. I hope the practical tips were good for you. We're going to get out of this and look at some Q&A, any questions that you guys might have.
Now this is a time to ask the experts any questions you might have. The lines are open and we're ready to hear from you. So you can either type in the chat box or on the question box. Cole, while we're waiting for Eddie to come in, you want to tell them a little bit about what Totem Post does?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Totem Post, what we do essentially is we provide social media content to health and wellness professionals. Our content's approved by Yvette before it ever goes out, so it's trusted, quality content.
I'm doing the consulting with them on the content.
Right. So it's vetted by an industry professional, and once again, everything we've just talked about, that's really what we consider. We really aim to produce really custom graphics, quality content, and that's really our aim. Essentially, the difference between what we do in a traditional social media agency is we take the same content and distribute it throughout the U.S. And the difference is, though, if there is a competitor within a 10-mile radius of your location, we will not show the same content. So you still get the advantage of exclusivity and originality with your customer base and those people that follow your business with a significantly lower cost, because since we're distributing it everywhere, it's really advantageous for a local business owner. And so we have a special actually for this webinar. So it's $79 per month to the end of the year, and then it goes back up to $99 a month on a month-to-month basis. No contract.
Totem Posts, what they do is, and you correct me where I'm fall wrong, but they create the graphics. So they create 20 graphics and 20 posts. They can be graphics, they can be sharing stories, but they're all really cool, really inspiring posts. And the really awesome thing is that they will post it. They put it on your platform within Totem Post. That's linked to your Facebook business page, that it's scheduled to post.
Right. We give you access to our software, which basically, you're exactly right. On the 20th of every month, we put the content in for you. We email you, letting you know the next month's ready for review. You can go in there. You can reschedule it if you'd like. You can edit the text. So let's say we say something and you would rather say it this way. Or let's say you just want to have a really personal post about the success story, then you could add your own just personal post. And so, we give you the ability.
Or if you don't agree with the post, if you don't practice, we do have some questions coming in.
Yeah.
If you don't practice, you don't give out diets, you do a more mindful eating type of approach, and you want to change out some of those, you can.
Right.
But the goal is to have enough variety for you. And it's pre-done, so that way you don't have to think about it. You can get on, moving on with your business.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a question more specific about Totem Post, we'll have some information at the end to really help you.
We have some questions that came in, so we're going to go through them.
First question is, are free photos on Google Images truly free to use on your Facebook post? So we've kind of got as far as the legal considerations, when someone posts something, if there's a Google image, it's not technically free to use because essentially what's happened is someone has posted that image on their website and Google has indexed it with their Google images. I hope that makes sense. So basically, it's not free to use from Google. However, it is free to use from Facebook. So if someone has shared a piece of content on Facebook, you can share it as well. What we do is we'll save the image and we'll source it at the bottom right. And so if we get an image from somewhere, or even an idea at times, so say we create our own custom graphic, we'll even source the idea because we really want to make sure we're giving credit where credit's due. We would advise to kind of stay away from Google Images. Once again, stock photography can be an excellent way to kind of mitigate some of those risks.
I've personally heard too many dangerous potential lawsuits and stuff from that. I know that I
Right.
purchase all mine or create my graphics.
Yeah. So it would be good to either share it directly from Facebook, which automatically gives credit where credit's due, or to source it within Photoshop, just a little text box, or other, photo editing, image editing software that you could use. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Okay, next question is explain more in your own voice when you said promote in your own voice occasionally.
Right. So what I mean is, kind of what drives your customers.
Well, and I'm not going to say your name, but I know that you're a very strong vegan, and that's part of your brand.
Right.
So I think that's important to share.
Yeah. And yeah, be outspoken about that. I mean, obviously, if that's your brand, that's what I mean. Is like from your own voice. I guess don't use a cliche. Here's what I mean. Don't use the cliche 20% off this product. Use get a little bit more creative and say, this vegan product I stand by it. I won't move off of it. Come in. I'll give you one for free. I'll give you a free sample. Right. That is a little bit different than, hey, 20% off this product. It's kind of your own voice, your own flavor, and really kind of represents your brand a lot better than 20% off.
I know that I got definitely more comfortable. Part of my brand is I'm a mother, a business owner, and I'm a dietitian. Mm-hmm. And so I held back for a while. I kind of held that back, but now that's who I am. So when I post things, I'm posting about the juggling act of doing it all. And I think you'll get followers who follow you based off of if they relate and are inspired by what you're giving out there.
Yeah, people appreciate vulnerability and inspiration. And so, yeah, if that could be part of your voice is vulnerability and inspiration, it could definitely be beneficial as well. Yeah, it's called, the question is, what was the phone editing app you use? And it is called PicStitch. That is PIC space Stitch, STITCH.
And we're going to send out an email of the few things he mentioned, the stuff with Instagram, the Twitter website, search thing, and the design apps for sure.
Yeah. And we'll include my email address if you have any other questions that you think of after this webinar. It is recorded. We can provide a link for that as well.
And the promotion for Totem Post.
Yes, yes.
You can also get a 10-day free trial of Totem Post.
Yes. And by 10 days, we mean 2 business weeks. So 14 days or 2 business weeks, essentially.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you so much for attending. We will be doing this webinar again, but it will be the exact same webinar. So if you have friends you think would like to attend, we'll be doing it in October after FNCE, after the Food Nutrition Conference Expo. Also, I will be at FNCE this year, so if you're there, please come by. I'll be at the Product Member Marketplace. Please come by and visit me. We'll have some good giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thanks.